And welcome back to the Basil Breen Boombox. I'm here with Paul Carrol, aka Bruce Lee's young lad. Now, hold on. That's me giving him that name. He didn't come in here and tell me to call him that. My first earliest memory of you, I used to hang around with Andrew Brew. Shout out Brew Carrol. Brew's actually got a few shout outs on this podcast. But you had a collection of Bruce Lee films, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
A massive kind of, was it, you had them all?
Oh yeah, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Chuck Norris, Van Damme, Steven Seagal.
Jesus.
This goes on.
I just remember it was like a library of sort of...
They were just the DVDs, they weren't the books. I kept them upstairs, no one touched them.
Wow. What was your kind of, what was your first inkling, or what pulled you into that world first?
Yeah, jeez, that's a good question. I'd have to say Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. So I would. I'm an early 80s baby, so...
Okay.
It would nearly... Yeah, Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
So they were just coming on the scene.
Oh, well, Bruce Lee was dead.
Jesus Christ! Alright, no, obviously, this is why I bring him here. I don't know shit about Bruce Lee or any of these lads. But I was just wondering, because obviously you've kind of delved into this world a lot deeper now since you were a young lad, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In relation to... Well, first, actually, we did taekwondo together.
That's right, yeah.
For a few years.
That's right. Geez, that's gone back 20 years now, is it?
Oh, man, don't say that. Must be.
Now you're getting old too.
Yeah, I know. We're in it together. I think I left when I was around... I maybe started maybe 20 years ago or something, yeah, with Terry Donnelly. And, Jesus, that was a very long time ago. But that was your first entry into martial arts then, except for... the practice you were doing after watching the films?
No. I've tried my hand at some boxing, judo, Shotokan, and I think it was Waryu karate.
Before you did taekwondo?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. I just didn't tell people.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's hilarious. So what was your, so you're watching these films, right? And you're thinking, Jesus, looks cool. How can I get into some of this? What was your first class in something?
My first class?
If you can remember.
It would have been Shotokan karate.
What is that?
I actually only done a few sessions of it.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Being honest now, I didn't get a good vibe off the instructors. Not that I was afraid or anything. Just didn't get a good vibe. I said, nah, not for me.
In sense of ego or just...
No, I just didn't get a good vibe.
That was it.
Just
good energy. Yeah, that you can remember to this
intuition,
day.
It's like intuition at an early stage, which we'll probably discuss more when it comes down to self-protection.
Oh, yeah. I think intuition's a big one, actually, because I think it does in regards to life and everything that sort of dictates what we do. We kind of go against our intuitions because it's the culture tells us to be polite, let's say. Let's say our intuition tells us, oh, don't get into the car with somebody, or I don't want to go to that thing you invite me to, but it's rude to say no. Mm-hmm. My gut is telling me this isn't good for me, but society kind of tells me, it's rude not to, in a weird way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we do have this sort of innate sense of what is kind of right or wrong for us at a kind of deep level, I think.
Yeah, see, the older we get, as a child, our intuition is, I would say strongest. And as obviously your ma, your dad, or whatever parental guidance at the time, no, you have to be polite to this person, that person.
Yeah.
If a child doesn't want to hug someone, don't make them.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a reason why they don't want to hug someone. Which we'll probably get into more detail.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the old cliche of the dog barking at somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I've always said there's nothing truer than a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing truer than
They
a child.
can see.
Oh, they can sense, yeah.
Wow.
But then society gets them to sit on it as you get older. You're sitting on your intuition.
So then your first class, right? You start delving into this with that Shaolin karate. I don't even remember. Bad vibes off it. Stay away from it.
Shotokan karate. I think
Shotokan.
I don't even know the instructor's name. I can see his face. Don't remember his name.
Wow.
But it was in the old school.
Ah, yeah.
Wooden
Them whole
floors
wooden floors.
And the nails still sticking up.
The splinters. I remember them. And then you eventually ended up in taekwondo. And so I had a look at your page. So the page that the umbrella is you're under Self-Protection Ireland.
Self-Protection Ireland. It was formerly known as Sanshido Ireland.
Okay. What the Transidos, is that like a branch of martial arts? Or?
No, Sanshido Ireland was founded by a guy called Richard Dimitri out in Canada. And he's more or less eradicated that.
Wow.
And he's doing his own thing now. But we train under Sanshido. You should look it up, some of the old school stuff. And we just Self-Protection Ireland.
Interesting.
Since COVID now, we kind of went, a few of the guys retired, and we're getting going again, as in the website and the emails, and we're getting going again.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when you look at martial arts, you can have, say, let's say karate, or even in taekwondo, you have like patterns. You know, the patterns, they're kind of these sort of simulations of a fake fight, let's say, where you're defending off.
You said that right, a fake.
Exactly.
fight.
And it's the same in the Bruce Lee films. You know what I mean?
All choreographed.
One
yes.
little hit, and suddenly they're across the room. But there's an actual reality to violence in a way. And I suppose you have come from an interest in martial art movies, coming through some traditional martial arts, and now you've kind of landed in a martial art or a system that's kind of based fundamentally in the real world, you know what I mean, of what could actually happen.
Yeah, well, there's no really system. It's just pure, raw, applied self-protection. So there's no system name on it. What got me into it, obviously, is fair old rows growing up and coming home from school, going to school, coming home from school, going down to train, coming home from training. Like, you get around school, a few digs are thrown, and then you upset your ma gives you a few digs, and then your dad gives you a few digs for setting up your ma. Upsetting your ma, you know?
So then you're just like, how can I need to stop this. I need to be sending the young lads home to their mas, upsetting them.
I tried everything. I tried all the ball sports and all that. I was fit, I was fast, but my ball skills weren't the best.
Oh yeah, I'm the same. Well, it depends on what type of ball skills you're talking about. But I was the exact same. I just hadn't have a coordination out there with things in the world. With taekwondo, I was all right at using I knew where to put my fist, you know what I mean, in a weird way. But I didn't know how to put my fist to a ball or my leg to a ball. That was kind of a bit alien.
And to go where you wanted to go.
Yeah, exactly. But I suppose, what is the key difference, right, from what you see in a classic Bruce Lee film versus what happens in the real world when you're sort of, you know, a conflict or someone is pressed against you? Like, what does violence look like in the real world?
Right, violence is disgusting. That's all I can say. Right, you have your movies, or Bruce Lee movies, or whatever movie you want to be Steven Seagal, Chuck Norris, or whatever. The latest one now is John Wick. But it's all choreographed. Absolutely choreographed. You can't choreograph violence. You just don't know. And one of my problems is with the self-protection industry, self-defense industry, is they're selling 101 moves. Learn how to kill a guy 101 moves. Which, when it comes to an attack, they're not going to remember the first move. So they're not.
Yeah.
You know, so when it comes down to violence, fight or flight kicks in, and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, shit, what the fuck's happening? Whereas we try and teach simple mechanics of natural body movement, natural reactions to more or less defend off whatever attack is happening. Like the likes of the self-defense industry are selling out, you know, there's YouTube videos going up there. They're practically, some are teaching murder, if I'm being honest with you. You know, everything has to be, you have to have, you know, legally and ethically the moral of, okay, how am I going to get home safe from all this without going into murder someone? Now, don't get me wrong, I have an ego myself. I love going in, hitting the pads, biting down, simulating whatever. But I also mostly step back and go, how can I teach my 10-year-old girl that, or 12-year-old girl that? How can I teach a 12-year-old girl what to do when daddy sneaks into the room at night? Is she going to, you know, stick on a choke bar or hammer fist her dad in 100 different ways?
Straight to the jugular.
When she's just woken up saying, here, this is going to be our little secret. How do you fend against that?
Jesus
That's
Christ.
where the industry's not going, but it's starting to, thanks to the likes of Richard Dimitri and Pamela, and even Chris Roberts and our own Mick O'Brien, it's starting to, really, people are starting to, the self-aware of emotional abuse, coercive behaviour, mental abuse. People are starting to go down that line now. But everyone thinks is smash, 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 smash. You know, like there's loads of stories that we could share with you on. It just doesn't work. You know, it's traditional martial arts. It's traditional for a reason.
Yeah.
Traditional.
Exactly.
It hasn't progressed. You know, there is other things like the likes of, you have martial arts, you have sports, and you have, say, the likes of combatives and all that. It's like 3 different sports. So say, for instance, we have Gaelic football, yeah? We pick a ball up, we kick it. We have a team of 15. You have Aussie rules, similar to GA, oval ball. You have American football, similar, ball. 3 different sports.
Yeah.
This is the same.
Exactly. Different strategies will end like differently in different scenarios.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because there's like so at a top level, I suppose this is why self-protection Ireland is a really good name for what you're trying to encapsulate, because it's not like when I hear self-defense, I'm just thinking getting maybe mugged in the street, your typical altercation. But what you're talking about is there's fundamentally deeper situations that people
Absolutely.
are finding themselves in.
Absolutely. Like I always say in the classes, what's your first thought when you hear the word self-defense? What's your first thought? And you said it already. What's your first thought?
It's just like
You're already in defense of yourself.
Yeah.
And see the way you're standing like that, the old taekwondo show.
Yeah.
You learned that 20 years ago and you're still bleeding doing it.
I know. I can't get out of it.
You know, whereas we learn to talk to people like, I always talk with my hands up. I'm always smiling, but I'm always ready.
Yeah.
I'm not mean I'm jumping around
Whoa.
I'm not jumping around every corner.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Savile around here. No. You know, I'm not. I'm still relaxed.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, with self-protection Ireland, yes, you have to go into the root of the problem. And I feel the root of the problem is trauma, whether it's childhood trauma or trauma from the parents being passed on to the child. It's trauma.
So we're talking about from the like where does the seed of sort of violence stem from? As in the person who is inflicting, it's not just, so it goes even deeper, I think. It's not just the person that's being subjected to the violence or the situation. It's actually also the perpetrator. Like is that another problem you're trying to solve or address in a weird way?
Well, I will try do my best.
Yeah.
Sorry, the mic.
You're grand.
The producer's giving out.
Yeah.
As long as I'm breathing, I'll try my best to teach whatever I can teach to as many people as I can possibly. And be factual. Like what's happening is, and I said it to you at the start, I'll be honest, is the self-defense industry, a lot of people are more worried about getting a payday or collecting the certs. Oh, I trained with so-and-so.
Yeah.
You know, they collect the cert, but they didn't take away the valuable information.
Jesus.
That needs to be passed on. I know we'll fill the class to give them in, say, whatever. Like our first fundamentals, it's a 5-hour workshop. So it is.
Yeah.
It's 5 hours. 10% of that may be pads. Whereas a lot of people do 10% lip service or shy talk.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden get them baiting pads.
Yeah.
Doing all these scenarios, and they're going home bollocks tired, sore hands, and what did they learn? We're going to fucking monkey can hit a pad.
Exactly. And it's interesting, it's a similar thing to what now this is a bit of, I'll come back to it, but
take your time.
the washing companies, when they discovered that people viewed clean clothes dependent on how much foam was produced, even though the foam actually wasn't part of the cleaning process.
Right.
They actually added the foam. And it's the same with the minty taste in your mouth when you brush your teeth. That mint, it's like a feeling of, you will start associating the habit of clean with that feeling, but the feeling doesn't actually need to be there. And similar with them classes, you're hitting pads, you're sweating, you're coming out of that, you're kind of like, Jesus, that was a lot. You feel, you're tricked into thinking that something big happened, that you got something out of that, something took place. But really, you were kind of hoodwinked. It's just like, hit the pads, get through it, you were sweat. Like, especially if you're coming off the couch and you're hitting pads, you're going to feel exhausted. That was hard. You know what I mean? So you're tricking people in a weird way into thinking that something happened.
Like just loads of ways. When you do the principles of physical retaliation with us, the concepts, for 5 hours. We can layer it up as much as you want to layer it up, you know, but you have to have it in a certain way. Whereas, you know, if you're teaching a 12-year-old or 14, like my son, for instance, I think he was 5 or 6 at the time, I can't remember. I taught him the concepts, but in a way for his, I didn't talk about, you know, ripping his eyes out, ripping the throat out, spitting in his face, or, you know, getting your fingers in and skull fucking its brain with your thumbs. I didn't get into that. He was too young. Okay.
That's when he's 12.
So I made little games with it.
Yeah.
You know, and one of my brothers, I think my son, I was only talking to him today, and I think he said brew. I think it was someone else as well, whereas my son latched onto their face. Do you ever see the cartoon? They're trying to pull you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the cartoon. Get off me. My son's like just getting in on their face, and he was like 6 at the time.
Oh my goodness.
Against a grown-ass man.
Oh my goodness.
That's what you need to be teaching. You know, there's like everybody can hit pads.
Yeah.
So they can. Like, I love hitting pads. I'm doing it for
yeah.
years. I get a great buzz. Like, you're there doing workshops and all that, and like you get, you know, someone coming up and going, "Will I lose weight doing it?" I'm like, "You're not here to lose weight. You're here to
That makes no
so
sense.
you don't lose your life."
Yeah. It's a whole fundamental shift. So do you think, so you said something there about like certs and doing particular
The
classes.
cert collectors.
What?
Look, the cert collectors, yeah. Look, I've trained with a lot of guys over the years. I've travelled, you know, Canada, Europe, and all that. Great guys, absolute great guys. And you know, I'm happy to say I'll be long friends with them now, and we keep in touch. And there's a problem, we always chat with each other. But then you do get the guys who just want to collect certs and look good, but don't use what they've learned. Whether they go to a shit instructor or an absolutely fabulous instructor, they're still going to do their own shit. They're going to sell it as, and I feel as a self-protection instructor, it is wrong to give people the false sense of security. Like, I've many people come into my class, say, "Oh yeah, I've done it before, self-defense. Oh yeah. He goes, "My style was this." And, "Oh, your style." I keep my mouth shut because there is no fucking style in self-defense.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm much safer. That poor little area where the woman was attacked down the road 6 weeks ago, I'm so much more confident walking down that laneway. I'm so much confident walking in that dark car park.
Jesus
but
Christ.
someone got attacked, a female got attacked there 6 weeks prior. She's still going to walk down it.
Wow.
But she spent lots of money training
That's
for
crazy.
the attack, whereas walk around.
Avoid that like the plague would be.
Yeah.
I think.
Simple things like that. We teach people. Yeah, you're going through your head there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're like going, how, like.
Now I can walk through and I feel great. I would, you know what I mean?
I feel confident now. I'm going to walk down that dark alley.
Oh my goodness.
I'm ready for anything.
Yeah.
And that's giving them a false sense of security. And I just
100%.
cannot, I would not live if I feel I'm going to get away doing that. Like, it's mad. It's you know, do less, but do more. As in, like, again, 100 moves. No. We work off the natural body responses, natural responses of the body. Tool and target development, eyes, throat, secondary targets, third targets, whatever, to get a flinch response, to get away whatever way you can. You would understand more, say if you done, and I'd invite you any time we're getting, say, a fundamental workshop going. Jump in.
Yeah.
Like us talking to it now,
It's,
like,
yeah,
I could talk here 5 hours. No problem.
Exactly. But, you know what I mean? It's not the thing. You know what I mean?
You have to be, on the floor, doing the drills. Like, again, 10% is all the drills.
Yeah.
So it is. And for the likes of the cert collectors, or, they get their camo pants and their instructor t-shirt, free t-shirt when you come and do this 6-week course.
Making it a fucking, like...
Whereas when we train is...
Commercialising it in a way.
Yeah, when we train is, you know who the instructor is. You don't need a instructor sign on your back.
No.
You're in front of the fucking hall.
Yeah, it's just bringing it back to reality.
And I've seen some of the guys and trained with some of the guys, and I've done drills with some of the guys and ego training, and it's just, yeah. So we're trying to go the more or less the trauma side of things, the emotional side of things, just like domestic violence side of things, the psychological side of violence.
Yeah.
Not the physical. Yes, the physical is a must. If it comes to a situation, you need to understand, is it social or antisocial? Social behaviour, 10 out of 10 times you can de-escalate that.
Yeah.
Antisocial, it's, right, this is a bad guy having a good day. He's still a prick. You need to understand, it's just a good guy having a bad day. Or is this just an asshole that wants to take your belongings?
Mm.
You know, like a good guy having a bad day. You know, like you can bump into someone in the street having a good day, just won the lotto. He bumps into you. Jeez, mate, happy Christmas, or have a great weekend. Woohoo!
Yeah.
I'm off on holidays. I won the lotto. Great.
Everything's happy.
You can bump into that same guy 6 weeks later, and all of a sudden, what the fuck? Watch where you're fucking going.
Something terrible. He lost his job. Something.
No, he could have just walked into his wife shagging his brother.
Oh, even worse. Like, you know what I mean? I was trying to keep it civil.
Yeah, kind of keep it civil. Or he just found
But his
out.
brother and his father.
Or he just found out, you know, the child he raised for 10 years isn't his.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna fucking upset him.
Okay.
So you need to understand.
There's levels.
Is this justifiable to hit? You need to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, is this a good guy having a bad day, or is this just an asshole? And a lot of things are like bam, 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 hit straight away. Okay, then the law comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Then the ripple effect comes in. You know, there's many stories. I'll tell you one real quick. There was a guy, he was in a situation, he was out with a few friends. Some guy got in his fucking grill and cracked him a few, done him over. Okay? Literally just defended himself, done what he had to do. Great. Thought nothing of it. 6 months later, out with his girlfriend. Mind his own business. He probably forgot about the whole attack. Who comes up around the corner? Hey, fuckface, remember me?
Oh, no.
Him and 3 of his mates. Okay, they attack him. Him and his partner get stabbed. She dies.
Jesus.
He's in hospital recovering over an attack that could have been de-escalated 6 months prior. And that's a true story.
Well, see,
It's the ripple effect.
That's
You need to understand what violence truly is. You can't just go around like the movies, you know, like you see there in who will I say? Steven Seagal, Nico.
Yeah.
he takes on his brother and everyone and just killing everyone like there's no tomorrow. And he just puts his feet up and has a cup of tea at the end of the movie. It doesn't happen like that. When the law gets involved, you need to know what you're doing.
100%. It's interesting because it reminds me of when I was a young lad, and
Still young.
Still, a young lad with less wisdom, perhaps, or did have enough wisdom. So, in order to understand the consequences of violence in a way, because let's say the Balbriggan lads, like just being the town over, right, meant that you had to kind of fight, and like you'd have the likes of fucking Mikey Grant, right, who would always say, "You have to have our back, lads." You know what I mean? And he'd always be kind of leading the charge. He was fueled with testosterone as a young lad. You know what I mean? And there'd always be the other Mikey in Balbriggan, the other Mikey in Rush, and they'd always find each other, right? And I hate fighting. I'm like a pacifist. Any fight,
Here's your buddy. I'm doing over 25 years and I still hate it.
Oh yeah. My first instinct is to run because I'm worried about first of all the immediate danger of violence, but then, like you're saying, the ripple effect. You know what I mean? I don't want to have any like people coming to my house or who
like
knows.
I am today.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But we have a good past, hopefully, that I hope that I'm not aware of. Yeah.
I could have coerced my way in here.
He keeps his hands up here. The camera's not even on. What are you doing? But you know what I mean? Because I think fundamentally, I'd rather get away from it. But it's interesting what you're saying about, you know, because people having a bad day versus a bad person. So a bad person, then it's like, I suppose the issues there that you're dealing with fundamentally, people that have dealt with sort of probably some sort of trauma that have made them into this bad person in a way.
Trauma. You know, like we all have some sort of trauma growing up, and we have a choice which way we want to go. Like I read a story of you have 2 twin brothers. And they had 2 separate excuses. One was very successful, and one was, say, a junkie, a burglar, and the both excuses were the same. The highly successful one, my dad was an alcoholic.
Wow.
And the thief on the street, my dad was an alcoholic.
Wow.
Same excuse.
That's so interesting. That is
2 different paths.
That's so powerful.
You just need to understand, like when it comes to de-escalation, you know, like me, for instance, I could not give a shit. Like I call this the interview process. Whereas you're out and about, you'll see the loud person in the pub.
Yeah.
Or out somewhere. They're giving someone an interview. And it's not an interview for a job. Who am I going to hit? Who am I going to bully? Who am I going to, you know, more or less mug, rob, rape? There's an interview process. I don't want that job.
No.
You'll suss them out.
Oh
So
yeah, you
would.
can smell
So
them.
it's all about understanding human nature when it comes to self protection. I don't like saying self defense because that's a marketing tool.
Yeah.
Self protection is something as simple as what's the first thing we do when we drive a car?
Put on a seatbelt.
There you go. Okay, if you can't swim, what do you do?
You learn to swim,
You
hopefully.
learn to swim.
Or get a bow. Or put on some little bandies or whatever you call
Oh,
them.
you probably still have your ones
I
upstairs,
do, yeah. Ready to go if you need to go down.
down to the captains.
Yeah.
So you just need to understand, it's not all about hit. If you have given them every opportunity to walk away, and you've no choice, right? You're going to have to preempt the strike.
Yeah.
There's none of this myth in the law, whereas they have to hit you first. Bollocks. Everyone thinks violence is physical. It's not. There's emotional manipulation, coercive control. Domestic violence has risen up. I don't know how much percent now in the last 2 or 3 years. I think it's risen by at least 28% from what it was. And it's mad. It's I just read a report there in Ireland since 1996. Okay, 239 women were violently murdered. It's 2022 now. That's roughly 9 women a year. For our small percentage of a country, that's high.
That's crazy.
And the self-defense industry are still teaching the stranger. Stranger danger is a load of wank. I'm going to say that out straight. Stranger danger is a load of wank. Because out of those 239 women, okay, maybe 5-10% was a stranger. Okay, and I read over the last few weeks, the few days, everyone who was murdered. Okay, one mother was killed by her son. One mother was killed by her daughter's boyfriend.
Jesus Christ.
And the rest of them were ex-husbands, ex-partners, having axe to grind. If I can't have you, no one's going to have you.
Yeah.
And it's need to understand how to break that down. And there's fair play now. There's great companies up and down the country now. It's wrong to say companies, organisations that are devoting their lives to domestic violence. And again, if I say to you, if your viewers have any questions on that, if they contact me, I'll put them to someone. And that's where we kind of need to go to self-protection. It's not all about hitting.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is hit. I want to go home to my wife, my son and my dog.
Yeah. So
In a selfish way, I couldn't give a fuck about the rest of people.
exactly.
My job is to get home, hug my family.
Exactly. We can all only do so much. But like fundamentally, we have to choose. If we try to save the world, we will only be able to save little bits of it. But we have a responsibility, like family and to our close ones, that we can actually make a fundamentally massive positive difference to them in a way. But it just going back to the domestic violence, because like you were saying there, statistically, it seems that your chances of something happening on the streets are a lot lower, or getting murdered are a lot
10%.
lower than having an altercation or a very serious situation with somebody in your sort of immediate circle, because that's where the emotions are really risen. And you're also more likely to be in that person's vicinity more times. You know what I mean? It makes sense, because you might see someone in the street and you might never ever see them again. But your family, your sister's boyfriend or whatever, your daughter's boyfriend, they're going to be around. And so stories progress and sort of stories develop and relationships develop between people. And I imagine when people sort of first get into a relationship with anybody, obviously
The honeymoon period.
You know what I mean? How, it's so hard to say when does it all go wrong in a way. So what I want to ask is sort of, when it comes to sort of domestic violence, are there any sort of red flags in the very early stages of a relationship?
There's loads of domestic violence or abuses. Like various abuses is, what they do is they say the narcissist. That's the big word everyone's starting to use now. It's been out there for years.
Yeah.
The narcissist. They will play the role of, I'm the dog's bollocks. I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
Outside the house, they're loved by everyone. People in the hierarchy, judges, solicitors, doctors, well-paying jobs, are well up there in the percentage. But when it comes to domestic violence, they lure you in. So they do. They throw the hook out. You buy the hook each time. You know, they may flash money or this, that. And, oh, you're all right, love, this, that. And it's grand. And all of a sudden, you know, what are you going over to your ma's for? Why are you talking to your sister? What are you telling her about us?
So
Then all of a sudden they're coming back. Then all of a sudden, give me that card. No. I'm the earner here. No, don't be spending money. You're not going shopping. No. And all of a sudden, financial abuse comes in.
Well,
The emotional abuse comes in. They all start coming in. And just all of a sudden, you're in the thick of it and you don't even know it.
well,
All of a sudden, you're saying sorry for doing nothing.
yeah. I don't know if you've seen the Tinder Swindler on Netflix.
The Tinder swindler.
So basically,
I think so. Himself and my partner watched that.
it's similar to it's like these cons basically, but
Conning them out of money.
conned them out of money, but it always starts off small. And same with giving money to friends that I found, unfortunately, sometimes is that
Especially more of you.
yeah, not even a more view, but you know when or even just doing a favor for somebody. If I say, "Oh, will you pick me up down the street?" It's like, all right. It's like, "Oh, actually, I'm going to be in Lusk." You're already kind of committed to down the street, let's say, and maybe you weren't going to go to Lusk, but you're like, "Oh, all right, I'll go to Lusk." And then when it happens again, you know, there could be even more added to this favor. You know what I mean? Or you need to maybe collect something. Or now this is a simple, trivial example.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're doing more.
Suddenly you're doing more, and
They're-
because
they're taking until there's no
Exactly.
more they can take.
and you have just because you're afraid, you're kind of it's like we're going back to the intuition. You're kind of you don't want to maybe because this person's close to you, you don't want to disappoint or hurt this person. You want to show them that you were there, and because they didn't go straight from zero to like taking your card, they kind of it itched in. It's like I don't think you should talk to that person, or I don't think you should do that, and then suddenly it's okay. It actually makes the reality that they've constructed, in that reality, it makes sense to take the card off you, and you'll be okay. You'll kind of go along with that in a weird way.
They will, because they don't want to cause upset. The one that's getting abused, they don't want to cause upset. It's like they know, the husband Johnny's on his way home. But, better have the dinner ready, or this ready, or that ready, or the kids clean, or the kids quiet in case daddy comes home in a bad mood. Because out in the world, that lad Johnny, he's a fabulous guy. Lucky family he has. Comes in behind closed doors. Right, what the fuck's going on? Whatever the story is. And it's horrible. And I feel it for people in that situation. And then they're almost at danger to try and get out of that situation. Because, if they're a true narcissist or psychopath or sociopath, if I can't have you, no one will.
Yeah.
So it's like they're like some people with their traumas. This is where we go back to trauma as well. It's very, very important to, a couple trauma bonding. They get married. They both have their own traumas, trauma bond. One is worse off than the other, or they're both equally the same, but they don't know how to pass it on to the kids. Same as when it comes to a relationship. Some may not know that you're actually emotionally abusing their partner. They're unaware of it. And some do know. For the likes of, say, I'll give you an instance. Like, everyone thinks rape is, jumping out of the alley or pulling someone into a van and raping.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Husbands rape their wives. Do you think of any way?
Just basically forcing themselves onto that person when they don't want to do.
Do you see where you use the word force? Like, you mean physical force?
I suppose in that instance I did.
Okay, I'm going to give you a story, and it's true. And basically, right, husband and wife. The wife's at home looking after the kids, house, the whole lot. Husband comes home. He wants sex. And for this instance, I'm not even going to say make love.
Yeah.
He wants sex. He's doing what he can, rubbing up against us. Come on, love, come on. And she's like, look, I'm too tired. The kids were at me this. He had attention to school. I had to go back to school, pick him up.
Yeah.
Had to get to dinner. I'm already there. I'm so tired. I'm sorry, love. Can we do it tomorrow evening? Tomorrow evening comes. Same story. Busy with the kids. Look, sweetheart, I'm too tired. Then he starts to change. Slams doors, gives her the silent treatment. Silent treatment is another form of emotional abuse.
Yeah.
Letting someone know that someone they love is not present.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, he starts slamming presses, small talk, barely talking to the kids. Shutting her out, slamming everything.
Yeah.
Just being a bit of a dick.
Just making it heavy.
Day 2, it happens again. Day 3, it happens again. She's completely worn down. Kids are feeling the atmosphere.
It's like, what's
Then all of a
something's
sudden,
wrong.
what does she do to make the husband happy? Okay, let's have sex. In my eyes, whether you agree or disagree, that's rape through coercion.
Yeah,
He coerced her to have sex.
exactly.
But everyone thinks rape is just a violent act on the street or in a car park or pulled into a van or, someone entering your home, baiting you and raping you. No.
It's coercion.
Coercion.
Coercion, yeah.
They were coerced.
Yes.
They coerced their wife.
So, yeah, there's a different situation. You know what I mean? Let's say it's like, we haven't had sex in a while, and then it's like, oh, I can't do it tonight. It's like, okay.
Genuinely, they're tired.
Then fair enough. Genuine, they're tired. But it's the acting out. It's the creation of this space of hell that you're trying to push this person into doing something. Whereas, maybe if you had this, you'd been like, all right, fair enough. And then they talked about it again, but they just talked about it. You know what I mean? There was no coercion. You know what I mean? Because I think in genuine relationships, things need to be more. It needs to be more negotiation. You know what I mean? As in, when both partners need to be
on the same
page, conversational. Because the wants and needs, and I know sex, it seems like a weird example, but in every aspect of a relationship, it needs to be negotiation versus this idea of coercion and pushing people into a particular space where they're forced to do anything really in a relationship.
Yeah, well, in a healthy relationship, they are discussed, whether it's sexual, financial, family future, kids, holidays, it's discussed.
Exactly. Because it's when you're creating this frame of control, and that's such an interesting way, because then when that happens once, then it's kind of opens the floodgates. And then obviously...
What's going to happen is he's going to get it quicker because she knows she's going to be in for days of hell, of slamming doors, not being spoken to, not getting back. She's ringing him, dinner's nearly ready, he's not picking up his phone because he is being his bonnet. His wife is tired, he wanted sex.
But that's like the... obviously that relationship is gonna keep getting worse, I imagine. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, well, it starts off with things like that.
Yeah.
And then then it may get. It doesn't always get physical. When it gets physical, it gets physical, and then worst case scenario, again, we spoke about 239 women in Ireland since 1996. 90%, like at least 80-90% of it was their ex-husband or their ex-partner.
Jesus Christ. So it's such a hard thing because...
But you'd see the ripple effect of that as well. Because you have the kids growing up in that and seeing that.
Yeah.
So,
New
it can go either way. A young male can see that and think that's okay to do. Yes. I'm going to treat girls like that.
Exactly.
Or he can go, no,
that's
I didn't like the way my mother's treated, and he won't teach you. He won't treat a girl like that. Then you have the young daughter that goes, I'm just going to be a yes. I'm going to be a yes girl.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm not going to open my mouth. Yeah. If they want sex, I'm going to give it.
Jesus Christ.
So that's just that ripple effect of the kids going into their relationships as they grow into teens and young adolescents with traumas.
Wow.
It all stems to trauma.
See, trauma can actually be generations old in a way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
we all had our own traumas. I know you had your own traumas growing up.
Exactly.
I had my own traumas growing up, and it's who you become at the end of that.
Yeah. We all have our cross to bear, crosses of different shapes and sizes. And some people have gotten horrendous traumatizes in a way, and it's hard to really impart this advice into people, especially children in the situation. But we can choose how we react to things if we're capable. If we have the tools, I suppose the psychological tools and the knowledge that we're choosing, whether we think we are or not, we're choosing to slice this story in a particular way. Like you were saying there with the twins, you know what I mean? There's two versions of the people. They both had the same reasonings, but they took different things from that story, and it's an interesting one because with trauma. You can basically use the trauma as like this is going a bit off like because obviously some trauma is obviously worse than others, but some people would use sort of trauma to as an excuse for not pursuing life or for why I'm a piece of shit or whatever without ever
I'm doing this because this happened to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
but what do you... How
you know,
do you
you have stories of, say, young men or women that were sexually abused. Okay? Unfortunately, a percentage of them do go on to abuse, but the higher percentage don't. They go on to understand and got professional help.
Yeah.
Like when I've done many workshops, and you know, I've often sent people off for help. Even when I was in the gym, you know, you're doing everything by the book. Their head's not there. You know, by them, they're emotionally, by talking to them and training with them, they're not there. I've often sent them off to get professional help.
Wow.
Some came back and thanked me. Some never came back.
See,
But me as a human being, I reckon, okay, go to this person. They're more qualified. They'll help you. If you want to come back training, you're more than welcome. Some come back an absolutely different person.
wow.
They've dealt with their trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gone
like
into
it is like the trauma is a major. It's the total ripple effect.
Yeah.
So it is.
But how we have to also... It's terrible that the people with the trauma that do terrible things, that sort of keep that chain of trauma going, we do have to find a way to find sympathy and compassion and try to understand this person. Let's say even a rapist, because if we don't, what are we supposed to do? Just say you're fucked forever and you're gone. Like what do we do? Like how do we show we have? I think. Like I'd like to live in a world where redemption is possible, even in horrendous situations. But that's hard to say when you're not the victim of a particular crime. You know what I mean? If my sister was raped, for example, I don't know if I'd be able to feel that way about the person. You know what I mean? I'd like to think I would be, but part of me would think this person's better off dead, which is like
That's a natural
exactly.
reaction.
But that's like that. We all have a darkness in us as well.
Oh,
That
yeah.
we're like we don't. The easy way to understand that you're just as capable as what the Nazis did. That we're all capable of the most horrendous evils. Is if you just imagine your loved one in a situation where someone is doing something to them, and you have a chance to save them by killing the other person. You do it. You would do it. We all have that capacity in us.
We do, and there's millions of different scenarios for that to happen. But you know, empathy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't teach a psychopath or a sociopath empathy. Like I know there's a few things going online there last year. You know, they say you know, stop the boys from raping girls, and you know, things like that. Yes, you can educate them. But if they have no empathy, they don't give a shit. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to rape and have their wicked way. They're going to do it, educated or not. You know, and I feel there's a bit of ignorance out there as, okay, not all men rape. You know, there is a high percentage, you know, just a percentage of them do rape.
Yeah.
They have no empathy and they're educated.
Yeah.
They're well up there in society.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, a certain percentage of the population, like what you're saying there, if you have no empathy or no capacity to show any sort of emotional intelligence or even care about someone's emotions, say it's
they
like
can fake it well. They can fake it
you're
well.
proper. That's like a psychopath or a sociopath. Like there's people out there that do not care about the state that other people find themselves in. Like, let's say if you've seen someone breaking their leg in front of you, like your first instinct is like, oh, that looks sore. They don't see it that way. They're just you're an expendable pawn in their reality. Did you ever see like American Psycho? Really good film that kind of gets into the mind. Christian Bale, unbelievable. Yeah. So it shows his thinking of what he's thinking as he's dealing with people in his everyday world, and it's just an interesting way to try to understand what it's like when you don't have the capacity to feel emotion or empathy for somebody else. And then you realize that, all right, there's a certain percentage of people in our pop, like maybe it's 1 in 100, maybe it's 1 in 1,000, but there's people out there that couldn't give a fuck about you, which is crazy.
Yeah, and they can be the most educated person in the world. So they could. And they're in the highest of jobs.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't even discussed about, you know, the child sex trade. We haven't even gone into that. We probably won't have. That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you know, it's not just You know, the junkie on the street, they're a small man. They plan this kidnap, but it's going to the bigger guys.
Oh man,
Yeah.
It's
I get the reaction all the time.
yeah.
You know, some people may get offended at what we say or how I share my opinion on things, but
This
it's
is
fact.
reality. Like this is the harsh, cold reality, and we have to face it head on in a way.
Yeah.
Because
Like it's disgusting, and like I hate fighting myself.
yeah,
You know, I've always said to my partner or my son, you ever see me physical? There's a big reason why. Like,
yeah.
I wish sometimes I don't have to teach self-defense. If it was a perfect world,
Oh,
do you know what
yeah.
I'd do? I'd pick up knitting and start teaching knitting.
Lovely.
You know? But unfortunately, I'm self-defensing now.
Yeah, exactly. That's because unfortunately, it's a useful thing for people to be knowledgeable about, especially, you know, because like you were saying, people when you get a sense that there's something off with people in a way, because okay, let's say you're dealing with something in your life, and you want to solve it. You see Self Protection Ireland, and they're espousing all this information about this space that you're currently dealing with. You're likely, maybe that's your first port of call in a way. Maybe they'll be able to know something. Maybe they'll be able to do something. But like you were saying, let's say people are in situations like wives at home. You know, statistically speaking, it's probably women at home more so. But it can be male or female. But there's people now that are in situations where they're probably afraid. Like how can we tell people, like, you have to come, like there's people in situations right now where they're afraid to come forward in a way because the
I
repercussions.
guarantee you, within half a mile's radius,
Yeah.
there's about 10 households, maybe more, from your house that are in that situation. You just don't know.
That's what I mean. And it's nuts because there was that story of Amanda Knox, I think, in America where this woman, she was kept captive, like, and I was watching interviews with people, neighbors of the person. They were having barbecues with the person. They didn't have a breeze that he had these children locked up in the house. And so we don't have a fucking clue, man, of what people are going through, because it's all, hey, how's it going, blah blah blah,
Nicey.
saving face, and it's like, how do we? How is there a path for people to get out of that in a way, or to come forward?
See, it is tough in that position because they are fighting their own traumas and their fear from the household that they're in. They may have kids or no kids or pets. It's not just them; they have kids.
Yeah.
To get out of that situation does take a lot of courage and a lot of education. Like, there's another story here where this woman trained with a certain organisation that's known around the world teaching self-defence, and because she was raped. I says, right, I'm going to learn how to defend myself. I'm going to go to this organisation, that, and did a bit of training. Guess what? She got raped again. She went back to the instructor. Do you know what the instructor said?
Oh.
You didn't train hard enough.
Oh my goodness, man.
So how the fuck is society? That's a true story.
Man?
How the fuck is society
That is fucked up.
going to get through when you have assholes
It's
like that?
All you need is the
teaching?
right move. All you need is the right.
Did you do
chop.
this? Like, it's mad, and it does. And do you know what? I need to get worked up because I'm teaching for the solely. It means something to me. I had my own traumas growing up. I know what it means. I was on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, I got jumped on by people, and I jumped on people growing up. I'm ashamed of what I've done.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen, even growing up around the area, you'd hear the shouting in the houses and someone getting hit and battered. You heard it. You'd hear growing up of someone getting abused.
Stories and
you know, you'd hear it all. But I'm coming as, how many people can I help? Whereas a lot of the guys is, how many people can we get in? Train them as quick as can. Take what we can.
This is a business.
Get them to buy the t-shirts. Get them to buy the gloves. Do you know what? My self-defense class now is now a fucking kettlebells class.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of the. I'm not going to say the names.
I know. Yeah.
Of the companies or the organisations or systems, they like to call them fucking selves. I went to do early on in the day a 6 or 7 week course. Somewhere in Dublin, and all of a sudden the first class was a bit of lip service, and then he had us doing kettlebells, press ups, burpees. I'm like, I'm in the fucking gym. I do this all day.
Yeah, this is like You know what I mean?
I've trained with masters in the martial arts scene, masters all over the place, and some of the questions they couldn't, like, I think it was one of my brothers, I can't remember, could have been my older brother. I went to one of my first ones. I was only mid-teens, getting into it, I still had, balls just dropped, full of testosterone, fresh Ronnie over the lip, and I'm went to some master and he's showing me all these locks and jeez, that's fucking deadly, Jesus Christ. I went home, here, look what I learned. I went to grab my brother.
Yeah.
Look what I did. Bang, he hits me. I'm kind of going, it didn't work. And my brother just goes, of course it didn't fucking work. You try to grab me, I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah.
From that moment, boom.
Switched.
The penny dropped.
Yeah.
That's not self-defense.
These moves, these orchestrations aren't what's
it's
more
not,
likely,
it's not
really.
the movies. Like, you'll see all the the clips online, the self-defense or combatives or, right, I've trained with guys that teach how to murder. Right, okay, it has to be justifiable. It's...
What do you mean by that? As in teach how to murder? As in a situation, they're telling them...
Okay, John Wick goes around killing people with pens.
Yeah.
Right? Come, our 6-week course, we'll teach you how to fight like John Wick's.
Ah, Jesus, man. Fucking hell.
It's a movie. He's an actor.
Yeah.
That's like saying, I want to sell a romantic story for couples. Let's go and stick on Pornhub. What are you going to get out of it?
Yeah, that's horrendous, man.
Movies. So, again, everything has to be justifiable in the eyes of the law. The law doesn't give a shit. They just want to know who broke the law. That's it. Like, with everything with CCTV cameras, everyone has a phone. Like, I don't know if you've been on my page long enough. I stick up stabbings and educational stuff, and sometimes I stick a video up. Instagram didn't like it, they take it down. Like, one guy there, they're all posturing, all ego, doing all this. He starts swinging a knife at them. They're still coming. He got stabbed. Boom.
Oh, Jesus.
He was dead before he hit the ground in 7 seconds.
Jesus.
He literally goes, boom, gusher, t-shirt, boom, floor.
Game over.
So you have to understand, debt is always floating around.
Yeah. It's right beside us.
No matter what, debt
Yeah.
is always floating around. But again, like we do women's groups, men's group, teams groups, mixed groups. Like, I actually don't teach men self-defense.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Do you know what I teach them?
What?
Not to be assholes.
Yeah. It's
Don't be a dickhead.
Don't be a dick.
Like, I've been a smart arse over the years myself and done my own fair share of
Had your bad days.
physical rows. I had good days, I had bad days. I met great guys over the years and met great assholes over the years.
Yeah.
But teaching men, not to be assholes. Simple as.
Yeah.
Again, social violence, anti-social violence. Social violence, I'd nearly go to say 10 out of 10, you can de-escalate it. But they're all, my dick's bigger than yours, ego, blah, blah,
You
blah,
bump me,
squaring
I'll
up.
bump you as well.
And you have to understand, say when it comes to an attack, there's only two safe assumptions you can make. One, that he's carrying, and two, they're not by themselves.
Exactly.
Other than that, you don't know. Like, you'll have these guys
Such
teaching
a risky
this
game.
move, that move. Like, how many times can you do a hammer fist? How many angles can you do an elbow? That's like the old martial arts joke is, how many martial artists does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
How many?
Let's say one to pose, and then the other one to jump up on his shoulder and then do a kick flip.
Right. You're right. It takes one to change it, but it takes the other 99 to do it 99 different ways.
Ah, that's much better than mine.
Just you see what I mean?
Yeah.
You do more by doing less.
Yeah.
So you do.
Exactly.
And you're trying to, like, I try to get to, again, I said, the 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Or the 14 or 15-year-old young male that, he's coming of age, maybe shy, maybe aggressive. You can still teach them the right route. Or say, for instance, I'm not going to teach my mother how to get you on the ground and armbar you. Like, my ma has her own issues at the moment. Some days she can barely walk. She has to bring the cane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then you have guys out there, Margaret, this woman has a cane. We're going to teach cane foo.
Yeah.
Or
how to turn that cane in.
Cane McGah.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we're on to something there.
And all of a sudden, they can barely fucking walk with the cane. What makes you think they're going to do all this shit?
Oh, man.
It's just to keep it simple. But again, educate them on the emotional side of the physical, mental, and emotional side of things. 10% is the physical, the pads and all that. The emotional, the trauma, the education of that. And there's great organisations up and down the country that do help people, whether it's domestic violence or not.
So when you talk about, it's interesting because I stopped drinking. I haven't drank in, like I say, 2.5 years now.
I was lying. We had a Guinness there before.
The last time I was out, that's what I have to do before the podcast to get me going. Otherwise,
give him water just to sober up.
Have the shakes. This is vodka. And I remember I was out at this, I don't know, some like Brazilian party in town, but I bumped into this lad, right, and I just got like, and he was with these other lads, and I got this sense of he
not by himself,
and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, but he wasn't taking it sorry, and then I could feel him for the next 10 minutes bumping into me even more, and I was like, oh, what is this?
What was your intuition saying?
I was actually, part of me was like feeling angry that he was doing this.
You didn't turn your back to him now, did you?
No, he was actually into my back. So I was trying to ignore it. But then I was like, I need to then I started moving away, you know what I mean? Now probably keeping my back to him probably wasn't a good idea either. But that sense of, if I had had a few drinks on me, the manly man might have came in.
You're bulletproof. I mean? You're bulletproof. Your ego takes over. Like, I've talked to a few psychologists, and some agree with anything more than 2. Your ego takes over.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes I go, I'm not much of a drinker, and now with wedding coming up in about a week or 2,
Yeah.
I'm drying myself up for that.
Yeah.
But 1 or 2, like growing up over the years, I've got my own help over the years, and one thing stuck to me after 2 points. I'm happy with 2 points and I'm done. You know, and again, as you said already, it's about noticing that, or the interview on the pub. Like there, before COVID, I was out with a few drinks with a few of the guys. I don't really go out, but I went out this particular night. There was 4 or 5 of us. One guy I haven't drank in a while, a bit of an asshole, and he's watching. He's still an asshole.
Yeah.
All right. But there's 2 or 3 guys across the bar, and when I go into places, I want to know who's the most experienced barman, what door staff are on, where are the exits. I even look at the fire fucking extinguishers. So I'm not mean I'm coming in going, where's what?
Yeah.
30 seconds I scan the area and I sit in a certain direction where I can watch things. Not that I'm paranoid.
Yeah.
I just like to watch you.
Yeah. It's more interesting.
I seen the guy that was in my company to the guys across the bar. I seen the eyeball and all that. I was like, here, look. Have a drink there.
Yeah, shut up.
Without saying nothing, stop fucking looking at them.
Yeah.
Now, happy enough, I knew one of the faces from the gym.
Yeah.
Didn't know him, but we knew each other's face.
That was enough.
And I seen it. It was brewing. One goes into the toilet. One, I can see it happening. I said, right, I have enough of this. So I purposely went to walk by them. And I said, jeez, mate, how are you doing? What storage on me? Straight off the bat.
Oh my God.
I was expecting this. What storage on me? Look, sorry to say, look. We're after taking him out tonight. He's only after losing his sister fucking 4 days ago. He literally just buried his sister, his youngest sister, and he's bit all over the shop. And, oh man, oh jeez, didn't know. I said, look, he's not himself. Look, we'll get him a few drinks and we'll try and get him home tonight.
Wow.
The first thing I done was what? I hit into his empathy.
That's so interesting.
Now, he hasn't got a sister.
Yeah.
They don't know that.
But it's totally switched.
Oh, again, they could have came up, sorry to hear about your sister.
If you had went up, but
it didn't happen.
But imagine you went up to him and was like, yeah, he wants to fuck you up.
Yeah,
that would escalate it more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could have went up and says, yeah, your man's this, your man's that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the quickest
What's
way.
wrong with you?
So I just said, a little white lie. I said, look, he buried his sister. He's a little bit all over the shop. He just wanted to come out for 1 or 2 drinks.
But his head's gone a bit.
Look, sorry, I noticed that. That's what, But look, he's an alright guy. He's just all over the shop. Oh, yeah. And then one of his other mates, so what's happening? And then his mate filled him in.
Okay, then.
And then I'm kind of like, look, guys, I can buy you a drink and all that. So look, mate, look, I'm just going to be looking after him. And it's like, unfortunately, I'm on the babysitting duty tonight. Made a bit of a joke about it. I de-escalated them. Then I've gone back over to this wanker. Now, it's the last time I had a drink with him as well. Believe it or not.
I know, we'll be like that.
And he was still like,
Oh yeah,
doing
what
all
did
this
they
shit.
say?
I said, what's the story? She said, don't be an asshole. Oh, it's all right, you got me back. No, I don't, I'm going to leave you.
What do you mean? I don't have your back. What is
That's what I
wrong
mean.
with people?
The reason why I'm not, he knows me, he knows my background.
That's the thing.
Last thing I want to do, if you really know me, I'm the first one gone. Go fuck
Hate
yourself.
that. You have my back. It's like, no, I don't.
I said, no, I don't. You're on your own.
This is your problem, not my problem.
And then we got talking about other things. I kept it simple, and then I got him out of there.
Yeah.
Even on the way out, the guy in the gym just gave me a nod. Boom.
Jesus.
De-escalated.
Well,
But you'd have a group of guys, they're eyeballing each other, then all of a sudden they're going to the toilet, and then they're shouldering each other, and then outside here, fuck face.
it's crazy.
What you do to my mate Mark in the
Why?
bleeding...
It's just so crazy.
Yeah.
I have a friend like that. I don't know if he's like that anymore, but that it's like, what do you like? The eyes looking at people, staring at them, starting calling them names. I was like,
Interview.
what are you doing? Like, interview. They are looking for it. That's the reason that they're out.
But you need to... That's when it comes to the art of de-escalation. Okay? Is basically...
That's what
you need to learn how to talk to people.
Yeah.
So, there's no point in me going, here, mate, I don't want any trouble. Well, you fucking got it now. Back off. Or what, bitch?
Yeah.
Or what, you cunt? They're going to get in your face. Whereas, hey, mate, I can hear you from here. Did I do something wrong? Is everything okay? While I'm standing in this position, I have that fucker lined up.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm already tasting his jaw. When I bite down his cheek.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like that.
Yeah, but
when it comes to the cameras or anything or witnesses, I'm the one being calm, but I have them lined up. But I don't want the last thing. And I'm going to say this while it's recording. Last thing I ever want to do is ever want to hit anyone.
Exactly.
That's the last thing I ever want to do.
This will go good for his court case then next week.
But that's what I'm saying. You need to learn how to talk to people. Like the likes of that interview, you have to learn how to talk to people.
Yeah.
It's like you have to hit their empathy. If you're in a position where like you're going to get the interview as in, I saw you looking at the typical man fucking thing. What you say about my ma?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
I seen you looking at my woman.
At my woman.
Like
what you're looking at. Just
what
simple.
you're looking at.
What you're looking at.
The simple thing is, and it's going back to the sister.
Yeah.
Or a female friend. You can say, look, I'm sorry, mate. Was I staring? Look, I'm really. You have to be. You have to really be
emotional.
What's the word?
Empathetic or
show empathy.
Show empathy.
You have to act it out because you don't want to have a physical fight.
You have to make it emotional.
Exactly. So if you go, look, mate, I'm sorry.
Or you need them to sympathise in a way.
Exactly. So what you do is like, oh, sorry, mate. I apologise if I was staring, but look, I lost my cousin. She is a spitting image of my cousin. I lost her 3 years ago. She was very sick, and I am really sorry for staring. Something as simple as that. You can use that 1,000 times to 1,000 different people. You're hitting into his empathy.
Yeah.
Now, he can go, okay, man, I'm sorry. Okay, look, I thought you were staring at my girlfriend. I said, look, I'd like to buy you and your partner a drink if that's okay. If you want to buy them a drink. If you're flat broke, you don't buy them a drink.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm sorry if I'm staring. Tell your partner if I made him uncomfortable, I'm sorry. You reach his empathy. Or he could go, I don't give a fuck about your cousin.
Yeah, fuck your cousin.
Now you know, this guy is not here about me looking at his girlfriend. He's here about, I want to fuck you up.
Yeah.
I don't like your face. I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
So you can also give an interview process whether that's a good guy having a bad day or that's just an asshole who wants to hit you.
Yeah.
1,000,001 stories. You need to learn how to de-escalate. People don't talk. A lot of people there's a guy that trained with us for years and he done all the courses, done all the hitting. He's tough as fuck in the sports industry, in the martial arts industry.
Yeah.
Tough as fuck. He was in a row over a taxi. He didn't know how to de-escalate it. It got physical like that. Literally over a taxi.
I mean, it can happen so fast as well.
He rang one of us up. He goes, I tried everything.
I gave him the chop. I
tried everything. I couldn't. He just kept coming and I couldn't get him off me. It got physical. And did you talk to him? No, we wanted to take our fucking taxi.
You know what I mean? It's like you can. I think you can nearly like. I've had that intuition where when I've had friends who, especially when you're younger, like they get in fights. I'm just thinking you could have easily avoided that. Why is it always you getting in the fight and not me? You know what I mean? It's like. There's something that you're doing and then you're like they started on us or whatever the thing is. like how? So let's say, okay, there's ways to de-escalate in sort of if you can think of a good story to try and empathize with them. But is there kind of what's the easiest? Like where you don't have like let's say because if I'm saying about my cousin. I'm just freaking out that I'm gonna get caught out with a lie. I'm real shit at that. You know what I mean? I can't.
No,
you seem to be good at it.
I'm good at lying, yeah.
yeah. These elaborations.
You have to, you have to understand. It depends on the level. If you bumped into someone in a bar and you spilled their fucking drink. Oh, sorry, I wasn't with it. Someone in my family died. Right, that's top of the, You don't need to go there.
Yeah.
Where you can say is, oh man, shit. I am very, very sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'll buy you a round of drinks. I really am sorry. I'll pay for your dry cleaning. You offer all of this.
Yeah.
Most of those incidents, grand, it's okay.
I'm really sorry.
Look,
Fuck, I made
okay.
a massive mistake.
Or simple. Look, sorry, he bumped into me.
Yeah.
You can turn around.
But just like, I'm sorry. I'm immediately sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not like
genuinely be sorry.
Yeah.
Because
you are sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen.
Offer to buy drinks, offer to clean their shirt or whatever. Or, with the worst case, like when it gets worse is, you bump to him and his drink goes over his missus. Now, that's a difficult one because they have their own issues going on.
Yeah.
I bump into him. Now, she might have just had her tan done.
Who knows?
He spills a drink. She's at him.
Yeah.
Now he has to prove a point to me because his girlfriend's pissed off.
Exactly like Will Smith.
That's a different de-escalation. There's so many. I can talk here for hours. For 24 hours I can talk about.
Yeah.
Many different situations. That's what I'm saying. Our first 5 hours of our fundamentals, that's just chipping away at the iceberg.
Yeah.
Then we're going to multiple assailants. Then we're going to knife attacks. Then we're going to knife attacks with multiple assailants. We layer it up.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
We have to start with the fundamentals.
Just be nice.
Simple. Yeah. Just be nice.
Just be nice.
Don't escalate. You know what I mean? You can always make things worse.
Yeah, like even if you're going to be a smart, like I've often been a smart ass.
Yeah.
So when one guy goes to me, he's actually a copper now. He goes, "You've a lot of teeth in your head for a very smart fucker, don't you?"
That's
I was like, "Oh man, I'm only taking the piss," but he was okay. But there's another instance saying like you're a fucking asshole. You're bleeding. Why you're such an asshole or whatever. You're being a smart fucker, and like you can de-escalate going. Oh, jeez, mate, I'm sorry. That's the second time someone's called me that today. My wife called me that before I left the house.
Yeah.
I'm having one of those days. I'm really sorry.
Oh, man.
You can nearly put a bit of a comic behind it.
Yeah.
But with the seriousness, still thinking of the seriousness. Whereas he's giving up to me for being an asshole or cutting him off. Sorry, mate. You're an asshole. Oh, Jesus, my wife caught me that this morning. Now I understand. I really am sorry.
Yeah.
Take the piss out of yourself.
It's me. It's 100%
Yes,
me.
and get out there. Like road rage incidents. I watch many of videos. People are just getting out and baiting each other. You do not know what you're walking into.
Exactly.
You can walk into a little old lady beeping you. Or you can walk into a 6 foot fucking 6 guy, 300 pound MMA fighter that's armed to his hilts.
Exactly.
You're hitting on his window. He winds down the window.
That's
again, when it comes to violence, no matter if you're an MMA fighter, BJJ, the whole whatever martial arts system, there was I can't think of his name right now, it's actually gone. There was a pro MMA fighter in America. He was doing his rounds outside the gym, this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden, I think someone scratched off his car. And you hear that someone hit his car. He comes out, what the fuck? Taking off his gloves, gonna fucking pound him. The guy took a gun out and shot him stone dead.
Jesus Christ.
Again,
you have no idea what you're
getting
yourself into.
Again, death hangs over you.
Exactly.
You have no idea what you're going to get
Death
into.
could just be around the corner.
The industry are constantly selling smash, kill. Okay, there's an aspect that we say, okay, go all out until you're away.
Yeah.
But before we teach them,
yeah.
like a lot of the industry are teaching people how to sprint before they're crawling.
Yeah.
As
Go
in
straight.
the trauma, the psychological aspects of violence prevention, conflict management, that's your crawl. That's like a little baby lifting the head up to see.
Conflict management is a really interesting way of describing this. Like you're managing the conflict. That's like first and foremost. There's a conflict. Let's say it's a trivial thing. You knock a drink or you bump into somebody. Or, it could be road rage. Like, road rage, right? It's like, it's so funny with road rage because I've experienced people having road rage at me.
Spots.
Yeah, parking spots. And sometimes if someone has had a go at me, I'm just like, in my head, I'm playing out this role like, I'd love to just fucking kill this person. You know what I mean? But I'd never get out and do something. But the mind goes. It's like, but that's when we're faced with conflict, our brain can go to these places. You
Absolutely,
know what I mean?
because as you're saying that, I'm teaching them I saw the fucking car you drive when I walked in here. That's why I'm laughing.
That's what I mean.
This guy's going to do jack
This
shit.
man's gonna do nothing. That's when they probably bully me on the streets. They just think I'm gonna do
Where's
nothing.
your L plates?
That's
But
what
that's what I'm saying. You have to understand violent prevention and conflict. You prevent it. You know, and I don't say self-defense. I always say self-protection.
Yeah.
You're protecting, you know when you brush your teeth, you're protecting your teeth. You know,
Yeah.
when you wash yourself, you're protecting your hygiene.
Yes.
You know, you learn your kids how to swim, you're protecting them how to swim.
Exactly.
You're gonna protect your kids, you know, as they grow older and give them. But some of them, they don't have the rules to protect themselves.
Yeah.
And they can't protect their kids. Like it's mad. Like the likes of, you know, I'd like to teach people, you know, don't be a predator, be a protector. You know, I've always said it to my son. You know, whether it's mom or a sister, anyone like that, protect them as best you can. I've always said to my son, if you're going to be a dickhead, I'll tell him. I've never ever had to raise my hand to him. Always words. I break things down from as his age corresponds.
Yeah, exactly.
I have him. I mess fight with him. He shreds me.
Yeah.
He knows tool and target development, but in a fun way.
Exactly. Yeah. For his age limit or current age, there's things you can teach for that age group. You know what I mean?
What I get a lot, and the recent, I've done a recent workshop out in a great ladies' GA team out in Ballybuckle. Great bunch of girls. Coaches me, the manager was my cousin. He got me in there for a free National Self-Defence Day. And the thing they said to me was, why isn't this taught everywhere? Why isn't it taught like this? One or two of the girls, they've done self-defence. I think a lot of them assume that they're going to be just hitting pads. 20 minutes talk, okay, we're going to get a workout out of this. No, it was the total opposite. Oh, they've done a few drills at the end. Right, if you say you got a workout. But what they left with is knowledge that a lot of people aren't teaching. And I know ourselves in Self-Protection Ireland, we, you know, it is our goal to teach this.
Yeah.
Like one of my goals is to get into the schools.
Yes.
You know, start teaching the kids on, you know, what is a relationship? What is coercion? You know, what are the red flags to look out for? You know, if you feel, if you're physically getting hit emotionally, what are these flags at an early age that you need to spot and get out at an early age? What are the steps you need to take to get out at an early age? It's not all physical. Some of the schools just want them to have exercise.
Yeah.
You know, whereas I've been to one or two schools, and I'm going to be honest about this, is I did have it age appropriate. I did watch my language, because when I teach self-protection, I'm in your face. I'm using street language.
Yeah.
But I don't talk like that. When I teach, it comes out like that too. But for age appropriate, I leave out the F-bombs, the C-bombs, various things.
It's like when you're in a job interview, you can switch.
But they don't want to hear the word rape, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. We didn't even get physical. And one of the teachers said, look, it's okay. More or less, we don't need your services. Oh, it's grand, we're going to change up course early.
Wow.
So the school stopped me from teaching what I feel is essential. They got another guy in, and this is the gas part. One of my students was in that course, and this guy was asking her, and what would you do if you done this? Asking her, 15, 16-year-old.
Jesus
One of my students, because it got back to me within 2 weeks.
That's hilarious.
So, you know, my goal would be as self-protection is to get into all the schools, train people up right to get on schools. You know, me personally, I'm educating, you know, psychology, criminal psychology, get into all the places, learn, put it out there into the open, get into the schools, because I feel you have to start them at a young age.
Yeah.
To understand what's this, what's that. If, you know, again, I said at the start, if a child doesn't want to hug someone, don't let society, hug them. There's a reason why they don't. Yeah. You'll know if your child is shy or he doesn't want to hug this guy.
Yeah, just has
you have to understand like how predators work as well, paedophiles work. You know, they're not the dirty old man wanking at the side of a school corner. These are guys that have money, have cars, they're attractive, handsome men. They prey, and I think I only shared something on my page today or yesterday, they prey on the vulnerable. They look at single women with no daddy involved. They will flash a bit of money, work on their loneliness, and make them feel like everything. Then all of a sudden their foot's in the door. Oh, look, there's €100. You're going out with the girls, I'll look after your kids.
It's just crazy.
Bang, he has them where he wants them. Do you see what I mean? How they
Yeah.
work? They're not like they're not the dirty old what the films describe them as the bad guy.
It's
The
crazy.
bad guy could be the fucking judge sending the guy off for 30 years, knowing that judge is sitting down and he's done worse crimes.
And it comes back to, the circle of people. Like, you're more likely to, for children, like, be attacked or molested or subjected to, like, abuse by people in your circle, apparently, as well. It's the
See,
same.
what happens is, right, again, I said already, 10% is someone you don't know. 90% is someone you know, whether it be an uncle or the father, or I'm just saying, I'm saying uncle, father.
Yeah.
Aunties, cousins and sisters, females also, but the men are way up there. Okay, it does happen. Need to understand. Go in there, you be grand. Go in there, you be grand. I don't want to go in there. Their child is telling you.
Exactly.
But then most parents going,
they're not thinking that. They're just thinking, they're just being.
they would
just
never
stubborn.
think of their own father doing that.
No.
Unless they had it done themselves by that father.
Oh yeah.
They would have an understanding.
They'd be like, oh, okay, this could be going on.
But this is where the trauma starts.
So this is the tricky part.
And I'm watching your facial expressions now because I'm hitting points here with you, haven't I?
Well, because it's a tricky, because I've thought about this before, as in, how do you sort of how do we get children find themselves in these situations because they're children. They're easily manipulated. Like, children are children. You know what I mean? Their brains.
They should be hugged, loved for, cared for, and nourished.
Yes, exactly. And yet then they're subjected, because people that are older can manipulate children in ways that we Santa Claus, you know what I mean, is an easy way to understand. We can create illusions, magic. We can make children believe things and do things just because we're older and our brains are more developed. And even you could say, when is your brain when can you not be manipulated by an adult? It's like 16-year-olds. You know what I mean? Even I would say, well, anyway, I don't want to get too into that, but what I want to get into
You can always get manipulated.
Exactly. You can always get manipulated.
No matter what age you are.
Exactly. 100%.
Again, you just need to understand the flags.
Yes. But for children, so let's say your son, right? You want your son going out into the world and be able to come to you with any problem. You know what I mean? In an ideal situation.
He's 14 now, I hope, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well then, but even when he was younger, let's say, when he's first going out into the world, he starts going to play school, he starts going out into the world, and if you're more savvy to this world of, potential issues out there, how do you make sure that if your son is in this situation where there's a predatory adult trying to manipulate your child, how can you teach your child the right thing to do in that situation?
See, that is tough. Did it get physical or did it not? Was he getting coerced into something?
Let's say it's like
It's so many different stories. We
what I
can talk all night about
Well,
this.
obviously, it has to start somewhere.
I've often taught my son to just to be aware, little games, and a lot of the guys in the industry are aware. Like, I'll play little games walking up and down the street from he's 4 or 5, he's 14 now, 4 or 5, 6, 7 years of age. Simple things like name the noise, or a car screeching, or the brakes pulling up of a taxi, or you can hear the chain on that bike, or then we can say, okay, I'm out walking with him, always make sure your hand's distant, touching me. Then we play a game to keep him close to me when we're out walking, because he's getting big, he didn't want his hand held. And I says, right, if you see anyone with a blue top or, say, white socks, tap me. So he's looking around, white socks.
Okay.
Little games.
Yeah.
I'm not telling them, Jimmy Savile's around every fucking corner.
Yeah. That could be Jimmy. Don't be going over to him.
Don't go near Jimmy.
Yeah.
He won't fix it.
Exactly. He's not going to fix it.
And I know I keep saying him.
I know, yeah.
Little games like that, name the noises, or, any car with an orange reg. So he's looking at cars, he's looking out for noises, things like that. As he's getting older, I'm talking about sort of, how to talk to people, explain things. The likes of Say This, and the industry is still teaching stranger danger.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I said already loads of times, 90% of them, someone he's 14 now. He's going to start going out longer places for longer periods of time and further away. And me as a parent, right, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm hoping if something happens, he will share it to me.
With the tools.
I've always let him speak his mind. He's honest as fuck.
Yeah.
So he is, because I taught him to just be honest.
Yeah.
Son. You okay? You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just be honest.
Exactly.
What's on your mind?
It's better.
And there's a few times over the years, I'm playing mess fighting with him. And, it actually really hurt me. He sat down, he got his breath back, and I was, that actually really hurt me. It really did. And I know he wasn't messing. So
Yeah.
all his, I hugged him, kissed him. Look, thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
Again, with the high society of parents wanting everything, but a lot of them are failing at just giving the kids time, empathy, and love. Even if they're meaning to give everything, there's traumas getting set in some families, or I'm not saying every family, over the years. And then again, that ripples out. But going back to what could I do? All you can do is, again, you can't wrap them up in cotton wool.
Yeah.
All you can do is give them, the verbal knowledge, physical knowledge, as best you can. Like, I would hate to get a phone call saying my son has been in a physical row. I don't want to be in it. Even thinking about it, I get a little hot-handed, even just that split second. I don't want to be in that position because I'm cool, I'm relaxed, But again, you don't want to, as you were saying earlier on, you don't want your loved ones.
Exactly. When it's your child.
You're talking about your sister.
Things can change.
Things can change.
Yeah, your emotions get dragged in.
For the likes of that, you can educate them. Some young lads are just little assholes. Some teenagers are just little fuckers.
Yeah.
But they were shown that. But to kind of protect them in those situations is, all you have to do is just years of just knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, you teach them how to swim. Teach them how to talk. Teach them how to say no. The likes of keeping secrets. No, that's a no-no.
Yeah, that's a big one. Avoid.
Nudge.
Adults don't ask children to keep secrets. You know what I mean? Or you just say. You have to create, I think, the best kind of relationship I can imagine with a child is that one where you can be honest with me, and no matter what the problem is, you're not, if you think you're going to get in trouble, it's like, it's worse if you don't tell me, you know what I mean? And we can work, because we can work through that. So you need to create that relationship of pure trust. And obviously it's hard as teenagers and whatever else.
Communication skills.
Yes.
From father to son. Like, some fathers out there, my son's this, that, and the other. Some dads go out there, I'll just say it out straight, is, go out and get her, do this, do that.
Yeah.
If I was in the company that says, you're teaching your fucking son to do this, that, and the other, because you done that.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole. I've often said to my son, I'm already talking about the likes of, consent. He's only 14, the likes of consent, and, no is no.
Yeah.
Even shy, as in, that's still no.
Yeah.
It wasn't a yes. He's 14. As far as I know, he's not at that category yet.
Yeah.
He's still kind of on his computer and playing with his mates.
Yeah.
But just learn how to talk. Don't keep secrets. Okay, you can keep little secrets for an adult. But, as in, no, don't tell your mammy you got her a bunch of flowers. That's our secret till tomorrow. Short secrets.
Your relationship with your son needs to, like, if there's things like that between you and your son, it's different. You know what I mean? But the fundamental relationship is that your son needs to be able to tell you everything. Well, I suppose the parents, you know what I mean? The parent, like, you're in the you went to the drive-thru, you got McDonald's, and I was like, don't tell Ma, you know what I mean? We're having this burger here.
Right. So that's a good example. That's, a quick secret.
Yeah.
So it is. And it'll probably come out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're loving parent or loving partner, you're going to go home and kiss your wife, and she's going to smell the gherkins off your breath.
Exactly.
Did you have McDonald's?
How long did that take? You know what I mean? And then it'll come out later. It's like, remember we had McDonald's that time or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, again, this story can go. It just, it can go anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not saying jump around every corner going. Ah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying hit everyone to ask for the time. What time's it crack?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought
that's what you get.
I thought you were going to talk. You put your hand in your pocket. Yeah, because I was going to give you a $5 for your bleeding.
Jesus.
I see that you're stuck for milk. I was going to give you a $5. Again, you just need to understand human behaviour. Try and take the ego out of self-protection.
Yeah.
Or out of self-defence. Again, I don't say
take the ego out.
So you need to, we all have egos.
100%.
I get a day, I just want to smash pads.
Yeah.
But most days I just want to dip in the ocean, float like fuck, and just not think about anything. Switch off for a while, and then come back and just love the family. But yeah, we
have all these aspects of our humanity. You know what I mean, and of our personality. and we need to know when it's appropriate to let the aggression out on the pads. You know what I mean? It's not appropriate to let the aggression out on your family, your children, or just a poor person who just happened to get in front of your bad day.
Like, it's mad. And even going to some of our workshops, and me, for instance, sometimes, look, I get bees in my bonnets too. I don't verbalise it like most people would. I get bees in my bonnets. I just go quiet and just breathe as best I can. But just sometimes I'm doing pads, or say we're doing a drill, all the guys get together, we're doing a drill and we're doing sort of a mock attack. I go all out. I'm not going to fucking hold back. They don't know what's coming. I'm going to say whatever's on my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And it's nearly like a fucking therapeutic session. We're all having a cup of coffee or something at the end of it, fixing our wounds, you know, going, oh, jeez, yeah, fucking ribs are sore and all that.
Yeah.
You're also like, got that off my chest.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, things like that. Like, we often do drills where we get into people's heads. Like, I know, I was like, when I do women's workshops, I let their teenage daughter come free because they're going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them goes, my little Debbie needs this more than me. You know, she's 15, 16. And I said, I tell you what, you jump in. She comes for free and she has a friend, bring her to him. They're all on the same page.
Well.
Mammies will do anything for their daughters.
Yeah.
But trying to get them to jump in and understand what we're teaching so they're both on the same page, God forbid anything happens, they discuss it amongst each other.
Yes. Because they both were there. And
because the mammy's going to think she's going to a pad session.
Yeah.
And then the daughter comes home, I've done this, I've done that. And then the mother's like, what exactly is that? Well, I just get the both of them in. You know, get them both of them in. Like, yes, the women's workshops, teenage daughter, bring them in free. They're both on the same page, and just take it from there. There was I was going to go into a story of there was a mother and daughter one of the times a few years ago, whereas the mother's just kind of, not for me. Not that she's shy. Knew her from the town. Not that she was shy or anything like that. She was attacked previously herself a few years prior.
Yeah. And
I'm getting into her head. I just can't click it with her. So I kind of had to, with her friend was there as well, and I kind of had to go, look, I'm gonna have to do something. So what did I do? I went to the daughter. Now the daughter knew all about it. I don't want to traumatise anybody in the workshop. I said, look, I'm going to do this, that and that. Look, just act naturally, this, that and the other. This is after about 4 hours of workshop. And we're coming into some drills just to get the feel for it, because you got all the knowledge in your head, you listen to what's done, you've practiced slow parts and what needs to be done, and get into it.
Yeah.
So again, I done a mock attack, and I wasn't going easy on her. Now, my God, like, I think she was 16, 15, 16. She fucking hell, she was going at me. Oh my God, she got her hand underneath the helmet and everything and pulled my ear.
Oh my God.
Because we're wearing the fucking, we're
yeah.
And she got her hand up and she fucking ripped my ear, and all of a sudden her man comes hitting me.
Oh my goodness.
But that's the reaction I want.
Yeah.
And I go up and go, all right, grand. All right, get off me. It's because she visually seen her daughter being attacked, even if it's a mock attack. She came in, she laid into me. And I right, grand. After it all calmed down, she's like this. I discussed it, broke everything.
Yeah.
She totally understood everything, even after the workshop and even a few weeks prior. So, she's like, I really appreciate that. That really helped me.
Yeah.
She finally understood it. Fucking, I was cursing the bleeding daughter. Fucking big scrape
Oh
marks
my
down. She got her
goodness.
hand right up into the thing and just ripped at me
Oh
ear.
my
Hit
goodness.
me throat, bit me tongue. And I'm like, yeah, that's brilliant.
You have it.
But yeah, we get wounded doing all this as well.
That's hilarious.
Like,
yeah.
we'd often go into a shed and we'll just we test everything.
Oh yeah.
You see some shit, it doesn't work. We test what works.
That's
Some of the
hilarious.
guys that train with stick thumbtacks in their runners just to fucking see what happens. Like, if you broke your ankle, you're not going to step in the foot.
Oh my God.
Guys I know fucking spraying themselves with pepper spray just to see if you can fight with pepper spray in their eyes. This is
Just
what
to see. It's like you have to.
This is what we're dedicated with.
Yeah. Like, what do these situations look like? You know what I mean? How effective is pepper spray
But
in keeping the perpetrator away?
you have to take a look back on what violence truly is. Violence is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, violence doesn't care about your social standing order or creed. It's going to come.
Yeah.
It doesn't care who you are.
Exactly.
You know, it's going to come, and it's going to come hard. And all you want to do is get home to your family.
Yeah.
That's all you want to do. My motto is, I just want to go home, hug my son, hug the wife, play with the dog, wind the dog up a bit, put the head down, get ready to take it on the next day.
Yeah.
And that alone can save you. You know, because once you're breathing and moving and possibly conscious, you still have a chance.
Yeah.
You keep, like, we train people basically to take on the Terminator. Like, I would suggest you to look into Study of Violence.
Yeah.
It's a website with Pam and Richard. Very educational. Watch the videos, read the content, and understand the shredder concepts is what we teach. And it's like your fingers are blades, and their face is like a magnet. It's just, and you're gonna rip everything. You're gonna stick eyes. You're gonna stick your fingers into their eyes. You're gonna skull fuck their brain.
Yeah.
You're gonna rip at their throat. You know, you're gonna rip everything, because what happens is, even when we practice a little scrape, you go out to the air. What's the first thing that happens? It's stinging.
Yeah.
You know, we teach women to take on the predator, and not take on the predator, take on the Terminator, or go to the local Garda station. There's his face. Oh, hang on.
That's the
his ear is stuck on my ring.
Like, there's the DNA.
That's worst case. That's worst case.
Yeah,
scenario.
yeah. It obviously.
What I'd always say is de-escalate.
Yeah.
You just need to know, like, even simple instances like, I've started a bit of currying and all that, and I'm about to step into a lift. There's a woman in there on her own. I won't go in.
Yeah.
Because what's she thinking?
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's this big baldy fuck with a big package
Just
coming
some
in?
random man.
Just coming into the apartment block. I never seen him here before. There was an instance where you can see them.
Yeah.
That's okay, I'll take the stairs.
Oh no, it's grand. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. And things like that. Some men need to understand that.
Oh yeah.
Don't just jump into the lift and stand there. And you could have a woman in the lift on her own with her daughter or her son, shitting herself, hoping he gets out.
Because this man, like a woman, like more than 50% of the population could overpower a woman. That's the world that women are living in. Is a world where they can be overpowered by most of the nearly half of the population. You know what I mean? Easily, because we're just developed differently. You know what I mean? We're biologically different in terms of our muscle mass, whatever. And I've had an experience. I remember when I was on the beach and I was walking, and then there was another woman walking the other way on the beach, and I was like, oh, it's just the two of us on our own. So, you know, I just had to make sure, I hope she knows that I'm friendly. So I was just like, I moved off, and then I was just like, put the hand up, you know what I mean? Try to be like, I'm okay. But still, it's still scary.
But just coming back to the overpower, right, it's possible, yes. But when they're taught, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, what they can do, you know, for an attacker, right, there's things they don't want. They don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
They don't want to get hurt, and they don't want to draw attention to the attack. You give him fucking everything that he doesn't want.
Yes.
Okay, you hurt him. You shout like fuck. He ain't getting your shit. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Obviously, I would say give him everything.
Yeah.
You know, you can replace the phone.
Yeah, it's not
You
worth
can
it.
replace a car.
Yeah.
You can replace whatever your latest Gucci fucking bag or your latest fucking heels.
It's not worth your
It'll all
safety or
it
health.
can be replaced.
Yeah.
You know, if they just want you'll understand. If they just want your stuff, give it to them. But now, what's the story when they want to take it to a second location?
Oh yeah.
You know, I think a 65%, or it could be higher, second location is death
Jesus Christ.
or serious harm, serious rape. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So when it comes to overpowering, again, when you understand tool and target development, one of the concepts of physical retaliation that we use is basically, okay, you can't see, you can't fight. Can't breathe, you can't fight. Like, if you, just do the quick, take off your glass there. I'm not going to touch you, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to get sued.
All right, here we go. This is
Right.
on camera.
Put your two fingers on your forehead.
Yeah.
And push bend your fingers with your forehead. Go on, push. Okay, stop. Right.
Yeah.
Now, close your eyes. Place
Oh, fuck off.
Okay. Now, try and push.
I'm not going
Come on. Push.
I'm not pushing like that.
Okay, so I would never teach someone how to punch. I teach someone how to strike.
Jesus, yeah.
Because even if they're not accurate, okay,
you can generate a good bit of force.
you can. But then you're thinking of this. Okay, you see one weapon. Yeah. How many do you see now? 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5,
And
6, 7.
It obscures more of the vision. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
see
what happens
UFC
is-
fighters.
Do
Like,
you ever? I've done it the odd time. I flick my eye and like, oh, I'm all watery. You know, something quick like that gives you enough time to get away.
Yeah.
But the likes of overpowering is like we teach everything. You know, their primary targets. Secondary targets are only flinch responses. So basically, they're not going to stop.
yeah.
Sometimes if someone coked out on everything, every drug under the sun, right, he might be still coming after you with his eyes poked out. You start playing with, I'm over here, you can't catch me.
Yeah.
They're still going to, some of them can still come at you. It depends what drugs are on.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're fucking taking.
Exactly.
But once they can't see, they can't fight, they can't breathe, they can't fight. But again, the likes of flinch responses, like everyone's kicking to the bollocks. Okay, right, grand. Ain't going to stop them. It's not going to stop them. I always say in the workshop is, you're either going to piss them off or turn them on. There you go. You can kick to the nuts. You will get a natural response to proceed to the next response.
Yeah.
When opportunity presents itself.
It's not going to be a game ender or like
it's not going to be. The only time that's going to end is when you're fucking out of there.
Yeah.
When you're out of there with your loved ones, then it ends.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If you're even teaching kids, you know, as I said to it about my son, one of the brothers picked him up and he's all over him. It's like a cat. You don't stop.
Yeah.
Until you're away. And that's what we're kind of teaching with self-protection Ireland. But again, I know I had my stints about how the industry is still fabricating these attacks. A lot of them haven't got a clue. And it's not to be ignorant about it.
Yeah, or arrogant.
It's
or
fact.
Whatever. Yeah.
They collect their cert, they collect their instructor's t-shirt, and come do our 6-week course for €99. What are they learning? They're not learning anything. Whereas, you know, if you truly understand what violent prevention, conflict management is, you know, you have a greater chance. Again, that's just my little rant on the industry.
Yeah.
So
well, it's interesting because, you know, you'll have the likes of do you ever see these mega churches in America? Mega churches.
Churches like Catholic,
church,
Protestant.
Catholic, Protestant. Okay. So you'll have these in the name of God.
I thought you were saying lurches.
Oh, lurches. No. We're moving away from the violence for a little bit.
Okay.
No one's lurching in the dark, but we're going to tie it back. So these pastors who they have these mega churches, right, and they have big mansions, but they're proclaiming that this is all in the name of the Lord, that God has given me prosperity, you need to donate more to me or whatever. But they're telling the story of God. They've become deluded in a sense, like the power or whatever, or maybe they always knew that this was the way to make a fortune out of these poor people, you know what I mean? In the name of God, in the name of self-defense, in a similar way, people can use things.
Manipulation and coercion.
Exactly, yeah. You put a label on it, you start doing classes, and then you become, you have to be real self-aware, because we're all susceptible to our own bullshit in a way. You know what I mean? We can delude ourselves
We can smell our own shit.
Yeah. So if you need to be able to smell your own shit, because some people can't smell their own shit. It's like crazy.
No, I know.
And if you say it to them, they don't even. There's not even. We can rationalize our way out of everything. You know what I mean? It's crazy how the brain works.
It's like, you know, always agree with the fool.
Yeah.
Like you can say, you know, the sky is blue. No, it's not. Yeah, you're right. Just agree with them.
Yeah, it's just hassle otherwise.
Because, you just ain't going to get into all these rows and it goes down to de-escalation, you know, things like that. But
You will talk about different methodologies or whatever, you know, and then you aren't getting anywhere, you know what I mean? Because obviously, like, you need to be able to say, all right, this is where there's value in what you're doing, but then there's not value in this because there's not like 100 moves you can just teach somebody. And then it's like Bruce Lee says, it's like he don't fear the man who's learned 1,000 kicks. Fear the man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times. You know what I mean?
10,000 times.
Or 10,000 times, yeah. Because it's like that's so there's
he also said, you know, he took what worked and got rid of what didn't work. He didn't wait.
Hello. All right. Really sorry about that, but I hit the memory limit on my laptop, and unfortunately, it looks like we lost the video. There's a file there that I will try and save.
I just got my hair done for that.
So you're gonna miss Paul's beautiful outfit here, but we're gonna wrap it up in case I hit the memory limit again. But really appreciate you having me on, Paul. This was amazing, and I mean, there's so much stuff we could get into again, and we'll definitely have to try to think about a part 2.
Yeah, look, if it's a part 2 or any of your listeners, get back to it.
Yeah.
If anything, and I'm probably going to be honest with you, your listeners, something's going to resonate with someone.
Yeah.
And it will.
Exactly.
You know, it's going to resonate with someone and said, look, just contact Self Protection Ireland on Instagram and we can put you onto various groups. But no, I appreciate you giving me the time.
Yeah.
your time this evening recording it and whatever, not recording it,
I know,
not
I'm
working.
so sick. Like,
But no, look,
it's just another thing to learn. I've learned. This is actually the 20th episode now. So,
Is it?
yeah.
Boom.
I know. So number 20, fair play.
Boom.
You can't see that, but we just cracked knuckles.
But look, hopefully your listeners get something from it.
Yeah.
And not that I'm pitching
No,
ourselves,
yeah.
but Self-Protection Ireland.
You don't know where like this information is so good to get out into the world. You know what I mean? And the more you can keep
It's
pushing
fact.
this out,
There's no fluff. There's no Hollywood. It is
Who
what
knows?
it is.
There could be people in situations now that are just that need to hear some of this. You know what I mean? And I find there's always good information in what's put out by people who are kind of experts in their field or have delved into this as much as you have. You know what I mean? Like, you've been doing this for years,
And daily, I'm still delving into it.
Exactly, yeah. It's like, you know what I mean? The job's never done. But yeah, enjoy the audio, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers.